With qualifying for the inaugural CONCACAF W Gold Cup set to begin in September, recently appointed Trinidad and Tobago women's senior team head coach Richard Hood is working overtime to find the best available players to represent the Twin Island Republic. Hood has been overseeing screening sessions for players in Trinidad and Tobago, even as he dialogues with overseas-based players about joining their training squad. Hood was selected in early July from a list of 151 head coaching applicants and is charged with getting the Women Soca Warriors to the W Gold Cup tournament set for February 17 to March 10, 2024. They will play in Group A of League A in the qualifying campaign known as Road to the W Gold Cup. They start away to Mexico on the 26th of September before the return leg on October 27. They'll then play Puerto Rico, the other team in the three-nation group, away on December 1 before a home fixture on the 5th of December. To hear more about how the planning phase is unfolding, let's welcome the man himself, Richard Hood, to the SportsMax Zone. Richard, how are you doing this afternoon? I hope all is well.
Sorry, I'm not hearing you at the moment.
Let's try that again. Richard, how are you doing? I hope all is well.
Yeah, everything is fine. Thank you very much, and thank you for having me this evening.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to have you. Let's talk about the Women Soca Warriors and what's been happening since you have taken over as the head coach of this team. You have been going through a screening process. You've had the opportunity to see a few players at an open session. Can you give us an update as to how things have gone to this point?
Okay, things have been kind of mixed a bit. I cannot say that the response locally has been overwhelming. We have a number of players that I would say that we opened the opportunity for all players that were involved in the program previously in terms of the U17s, the U20s, and the senior team players as well. But quite a few of them have not accepted the invitation. For those who have accepted the invitation, we've been working extremely hard in terms of the fitness levels and in terms of trying to get them to play at a faster speed, increasing the speed of play and of course the aggression part. And that has been going relatively well.
Yeah, can you break down for us exactly when these sessions started and give us an idea of the numbers in terms of those who have turned up?
Okay, we actually started on the 21st, that would have been Friday the 21st of July. And like I said, the numbers have been underwhelming. We've probably had maximum about 12 players locally turn out.
What does that say about...
I would say, however, I've been to Tobago this week and there was a lot more interest from the Tobagonians. All right, we had a screening session, we had over 20 players turning up, inclusive of 3 goalkeepers, and that went really well. From that group, we were able to select probably about 8 players to join the group in Trinidad.
Yeah. So in terms of what you have seen to this point, how impressed are you, if any at all, with where the players are who have actually turned up? And I'm especially interested in their fitness levels.
To be honest, the fitness levels have not been great, and I think we expected that because the players have been dormant for quite some time. So that has been the focus, trying to improve the fitness. Yeah, the technical part needs improving as well, as I related earlier, with respect to the speed of play particularly. We need to get improvement in that, but again, the fitness level is the main concern at this time.
Yeah. And how have the discussions been going with the overseas based players?
The discussions have been going well. Most of them that I reached out to are, on board with us and will be making themselves available for the qualifiers. what we are doing, we will be trying to host a domestic camp at the end of August, where we hope to engage in 2 international friendlies. But that will be mainly for the local players and those who are involved in college and those players that have expressed interest in joining us. We have a few players that we don't know from college, 1 or 2 professional players as well, both from England and the US, who have expressed interest in joining us. So this will be an opportunity to really see and assess whether their suitability basically for international football.
Yeah, and Richard, I sit here, I'm listening to you. The Women's World Cup is going on right now. We've been covering the Jamaica Reggae girls very, very closely. We've spoken about how well they've done and represented not only Jamaica, but the Caribbean by extension. I will pose this question to you. Do you think Trinidad and Tobago as a country and the football, I would say the football-loving administration has done enough where the grassroots programs are concerned, to the fact that you only have 12 players, 12 women to work with right now?
I'm not sure I grasped exactly what you're asking. I'm sorry, there was some interference in between there.
Okay, so...
Could you repeat the question?
Okay, Coach, what's your take on the grassroots program in Trinidad and Tobago where the development of young women are concerned?
All right. I think at the moment the TTFA is actually doing the right things in terms of grassroots. We have 2 high-performance teams in training at present, one at under 17, one at under 15, and both will be going into tournament shortly, I understand as well. So I think the future is bright in that regard. The problem is the players in between. I think certainly COVID have, caused a certain amount of disruptions to the progress of the female game. We have actually lost perhaps a generation of players. In 2020, I was in charge of the U20 team and the U17 team, but the U17 team never got to play. And the following U20 cycle, where they would have or should have played as well, not many of them that was part of the under-17 team were part of the under-20 team. So we lost some players there. And so, the players in between the grassroots and the senior players, somewhere along the line, we have lost a few.
Yeah. Your first assignment will be getting the ladies ready for the 2024 Gold Cup qualifying campaign. How important is it, Coach, that the ladies do their very best and represent, so that maybe players that belong to Trinidad and Tobago but represent another country can feel as if they want to be a part of this unit and probably reach out to you?
Okay, I missed the end of the question there again. However, I think I got the gist of it. It's very important. It's very, very important what we do now internationally. I think it would set a tone. What we as a staff are trying to establish is that we are not just here to participate anymore in tournaments and competitions. We want to actually compete and we want to do well. We want to get Trinidad and Tobago back at a level where we are considered, when you talk about soccer teams or football teams in the region, we are considered to be one of the better teams. We know that we are behind the Reggae Girls, we are behind Haiti, and maybe 1 or 2 other Caribbean nations at the moment. But we want to get back to that level where we can compete and do well against the likes of Mexico, Haiti, Jamaica, etc. So this tournament is very critical for us going forward. And hopefully, if we do well, and I see no reason why we should not. If we do well, then interest it would redound to the local players who are a bit reluctant to come back and join us for whatever reason, and add interest internationally as well.
Coach, last year we had a couple of contentious withdrawals from your squad with Kenya Cordner and Aaron King among your overseas outstanding players. Would these two have been among the players you've reached out to? And if so, what would their response have been?
Yes, I reached out to those players. Kenya she indicated that she is in the process of joining a new team, and at this point in time in her career, she wants to focus on that, and I certainly respect her decision to do so at her age. She doesn't have long in the game again, and she wants to secure a future. I have no problem with that. Aaron, on the other hand, indicated that where her job responsibility is concerned, she's unable to continue playing international football.
Yeah, well, of course, these two are close to their mid-30s or approaching their mid-30s. So from a long-term perspective, they can't be your future. But I was just suggesting that with your first important fixture against Mexico just 6 weeks away, you need a quality squad to get ready. And at the moment, you seem to be way behind the 8 ball.
Yeah, you can say that. However, I'm excited by those additions that I've seen, right? In addition to which, hopefully, and I'm very hopeful in this regard, that we should have a couple of the more experienced players by way of Karen Forbes, Kamika Forbes, Ria Belgrave, hopefully, will be with us and, lend that experience to the younger players. Certainly, we are a team in transition. We are going to be a very young team, a very inexperienced team going into this phase of competition, but I think a very talented one. And I think if we can harness that talent and prepare well, and we are disciplined, and we are certainly, and most importantly, we are fit to execute the game plans, I think we can cause some problems for Mexico.
Yeah, Coach Brent Sancho, as you well know, is a standard football analyst and expert on the SportsMax channel. And he has painted a pretty gloomy picture of Trinidad and Tobago's football for several years now, and not expressing, in his opinion, confidence in the current administration. You've just been appointed. Angus Eve is the men's head coach, so maybe you two national coaches may not want to be too critical of the administration at the moment. But how would you respond to Brent Sancho's view that the administration of football in Trinidad and Tobago is not helping the game?
Difficult question to answer. I would say that in the past, the administration has not done well and could have done a lot better, a lot more. And I would speak particularly pertaining to the women's program. And I think that's probably one of the reasons why the response have not been overwhelming so far. All right, a lot of people have been a bit disgruntled in some of the things that went on in the past, and that's why we are trying to reach out to them and trying to explain that we are on a different path. We are trying to improve things. I am actively engaging the General Secretary on a daily basis to how we can make things better, and we are trying to make things better. The past is in the past. All right, things have happened in the past that were not particularly good for women's football particularly, but we want to leave that in the past and hopefully not repeat these mistakes.
Yeah, Coach, with just about 6-7 weeks to go before your first game in the qualifying series against Mexico on the 27th of September, how would you 26th, sorry, how would you describe your state of mind at this stage, especially given everything that you know since taking over this job? Confident, optimistic, hopeful, concerned? Which of those words would best describe your state of mind right now?
I think all of them would be applicable, but I would probably go with optimistic. All right, like I said, we have some interest that seems to be, really exciting from some players out there. Hopefully we get them into camp at the end of this month, and I'll be able to see exactly where we are in terms of these new players and what they can do to add to the players that we already know. All right, so I am optimistic from that point of view.
Yeah, head coach Richard Hood, we wish you all the very best with the Women Soca Warriors and with Gold Cup qualifying action coming up at the back end of September. We definitely hope that the girls will do well. All right, but there, the new head coach of the national women's football team of Trinidad and Tobago. Yeah, I think the music means we're going to a break. No time to talk to Lance and Mariah. We'll be back.